Hi, James Patterson here, Regional Director, Office Services, Richard Ellis. Welcome to our second podcast for 2010. This month we profile the Queensland business. Mr. David Prosser, Director in charge of Office Services, and Campbell Tate, a Senior Director in our Brisbane office, will talk about the Brisbane market. I trust you enjoy our presentation. Thank you.
So David, how would you characterise the leasing market of 2009?
2009 was a tough year for everyone. It was a tough year for owners, it was a tough year for agents, it was a tough year for tenants. Most tenants in the market were still quite positive given the impact of the GFC. At the start of 2009, inquiry levels had obviously dropped off dramatically, but I think Brisbane was hung out to dry in terms of the Fin Review and the reports that came out in early 2009 about the potential drop in rents and the growth in incentives in the market. Face rents to me haven't dropped as much as what most people in Brisbane thought they were going to, given the fact that we're at the bottom of the market now. There might be a few instances where, you know, another $10 or $15 a square metre is shaved off some deals here and there, but I think we're pretty much at the bottom of the market now. Towards the end of 2009, the market started to represent really good value for tenants. It was a good time for them to move, and now is a good time for tenants to move. If you've got a lease expiry coming up in the next 18 months or 2 years, I think tenants are going to be taking advantage of the market.
We've just come through the first quarter of 2010. What do you see as the major changes from where we were this time last year?
Well, look, as much as it's said over and over again, the resource market's driving the economy in Queensland, and that's been translated into deals. We've seen Talisman Energy take a floor at 10 Eagle Street. We've seen Coal take a floor at 40 Creek. We've seen Santos expand. We've seen Hancock Coal take space in 307 Queen Street. That's really positive. I think that talking to the consultancy firms, though, the resource projects aren't real yet, so they're not seeing that work feed through to them. So the concern is that, you know, if the resource market doesn't keep growing as quickly as what it is, there's not a lot of other depth in the market here.
What impact do you think 111 Eagle Street's going to have on the premium and A-grade markets here in the Brisbane CBD?
Well, I think 111 Eagle Street's going to have an impact across the whole market. You know, if you spec 63,000 metres in any capital city in Australia, it's going to have an impact. I'd like to see some deals announced at 111 as soon as possible. I think it'd be positive for the market. I think that most of the premium A-grade properties in the Golden Triangle, where tenants are being targeted from, are reasonably well occupied. So the Riverside Centre and Waterfront Place, Camalco Place, Central Plaza 1 for example, could probably afford to lose one tenant each. And as the economy grows, the hope would be that that space would be backfilled by some internal growth within the buildings. Now that's probably going to make up 25 or 30,000 metres if you look at Macquarie and the other tenants that 111 Eagle Street are targeting, for example's sake. So that's my hope, is that on completion they can get 25 to 30,000 metres leased, and the vacancy that those tenants are leaving behind, hopefully by that time the economy will be in such a growth phase again that a lot of that space will be soaked up internally.
What advice would you have for our clients in the current environment?
The most important thing in any leasing market, good or bad, is that you present your space well, and that's down to the finer details in terms of the carpets being laid properly, the skirting boards being touched up if they're scratched, making sure all the lights have been replaced, making sure the toilets present well. The finer detail, you know, the owners that give their buildings due care and attention will position themselves well to lease their space if they're priced correctly. You know, when there was a brief recently in the market, which is currently the market for 800 to 1,000 square metres, and the advisor suggested to me that they'd had 55 responses just in the CBD for 800 to 1,000 square metres. So, I mean, unfortunately that supports the fact that there is a lot of space on the market. If you want to differentiate yourself from the competition, then it's a matter of giving your buildings the care and attention that they need to make sure that you're presenting your space better than everyone else.
I hope you enjoyed watching our podcast and found the discussion invaluable. Thank you to David Prosser and Campbell Tate for providing their insight and thoughts on the Queensland market. Next month we travel to Victoria, where Hamish Sutherland and Shane Burns will give their thoughts on the Victorian market. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to call David Prosser or Campbell Tate in Brisbane, or myself in the Sydney office. Thank you, have a good day.